Number 5. Struck through the neck. It will remain one of the most horrifying tricks ever performed during the TV show America's Got Talent. The night saw Ryan Stock, a Canadian national, swallow a lengthy rod down his throat. The rod had a target attached to it at the top, and it was the only part left out by the stuntman. He then positioned himself to allow for his aide and also fiancée, Amber Lynn Walker, to take a shot on the target sticking from his throat using a flaming arrow. The trick turned upside down as the flaming arrow missed and struck him through the neck. This triggered a lot of horror and fright from the bench of judges and the audience too. Paramedics were called onto the stage to check on him backstage and later reported that Ryan was fine and that the injuries were not very serious. Number 4. Failed escape trick. Criss Angel is one of the most celebrated magicians in Hollywood. He's profiled as one of the most daring entertainers. However, this is not without its fair share of mishaps. Back in June last year, rehearsing for Supernaturalists at Foxwoods Casino, a stunt went terrifyingly wrong as his escape artist got trapped inside a water tank over 30 feet above ground. Spencer Horseman, the escape artist, had both his hands tied and was clearly set for disaster as he could not set himself free. It took frantic efforts from the present crew and cast to get him down from the tank as he had already fell unconscious. Number 3. Marzyna Rogalska gets nailed on live TV. This happened during a live Polish breakfast show titled Question for Breakfast, where the host Marzyna Rogalska suffered an injury after a nail got pinned on her hand. The magician places the nail inside a brown paper bag, then goes on ahead to add some 2 similar brown bags before he mixes them. The intent was to make one not sure in which bag the nail is. The act gets botched as a scared Rogalska reacts to noticing the nail on her hand and blood trickling down her palm. This is probably one of the worst fears a live performer could ever go through, failing on live television. Number 2. Hammer that knife. In this video, a Bulgarian entertainer sets to showcase a daring act on television involving a knife. He puts the knife in one of the 2 cups before him and starts switching them really fast for his focus to cope. He appears to have no clue as to in which cup the knife really is and therefore makes a dumb move to pick a guess. In an attempt to bring edge-pulling reactions from the viewers, he slammed down his hand hard on the cup that had been carrying the knife and ended up with a sharp blade sticking out of his hand. Number 1. Sawing real halves. In this clip, a magician is set to perform one of the finest tricks in magic history, cutting a body into 2 halves. The setting, fully accompanied by background music, sees the magician call on his assistant, also alleged wife, to enter the box. The act becomes tense during the cutting part as he uses a chainsaw and visibly cuts the assistant into 2 halves with blood gushing out of the box onto a horrified husband. One might conclude that the assistant's head got stuck and thus couldn't pull out in time to avoid the slaughter.